Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little minute, did you miss me? In this video, I want to talk about something very serious. So I'm gonna give a trigger warning right now. If death, cannibalism, torture, abuse, if any of that bothers you, click off right now. I'm letting you know right now, I'm giving this trigger warning. If any of those things bother you, click off right now. Okay, so if you're still here, I'm assuming you are okay with hearing about these topics. So here we go. In this video, I want to speak about Jeffrey Dahmer. Now, I know that there's a new Netflix series right now called Monster, the Dahmer Story, or something along those lines. I want to preface this by saying I have watched the series. I'm going to be very truthful. I did watch the series. I am a person who is interested in true crime. I am a person who is interested in the psychology of people. Like, I am going to school to be a psychologist. So I am very interested in like people's minds and like what goes through them, what type of childhood did they have, nature versus nurture, all of that. I am very interested in that. Now, with that being said, do we need 50 million documentaries and movies about a serial killer? No, we do not. America has a weird obsession with serial killers. How many documentaries do we have of Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, what's that man name from Jamestown? Jim Jones, him. How many things do we have of that? Now, like I said, I am very interested in the mind and psychology of people, not just serial killers, people in general. So when a documentary of such does come out, I am very interested in seeing, okay, can I personally point out, oh, this happened, which led to this. So I am interested in that. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of times we keep releasing these videos and things about these serial killers, and it's like they're force feeding it to us, like they're pushing it down us, down our throat. Like, oh, you have to watch this, you have to watch this. And it's like, no. And then you have the people who romanticize these killers. Like, that is absolutely insane. That is literally insane. Like, with this new Jeffrey Dahmer series, I personally watched it. Like I said, I learned some new things I did not know before. So I found it to be very informative. Now, keep in mind, it is a dramatization, so it's not going to be 100% accurate. They do have to play it up a little bit because it's not a documentary. It's a dramatization. It's a show. So, but I did learn a few things from this show. I'm not going to lie. But I feel like with this new series coming out, we have a new influx of young people who are making jokes and making light of the situation and romanticizing these serial killers. And it's like, what is wrong with you guys? Like, what is wrong with y'all? This man brutally murdered people and ate their bodies. And y'all want to sit up on TikTok and Twitter and make edits of them, say, oh, one of the biggest one, oh, he would have got me back then. Like, y'all, it's not funny, it's not cute, it's not quirky. This is a real man that really existed in real life and had real victims who had real families that are still grieving to this day. I don't understand how y'all are not comprehending that. This was a real life situation. And while watching the series, I'm going to be honest, that series was very heavy. I felt it in my spirit. It was a very heavy series. It was very hard to get through. I really wanted to watch it, so I did finish it entirely, but it was a very hard watch, very hard to get through. I am not gonna lie. There were multiple times where I had to pause because I was on the verge of a mental breakdown. One that I had a mental breakdown, it was the episode with Conrad, the 14-year-old Laotian boy. I hope I am pronouncing that right. If I'm not, please leave below down in the comments if I didn't pronounce that correctly. I don't mean any disrespect. But his story hit home to me like no other. That episode, I was crying so hard and so loud I could not breathe. That really ruined me. That whole episode ruined me. But I feel bad for all the victims' families. No parent should ever, 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 ever have to go through that. And I feel like a lot of these TV shows and movies and documentaries are kind of banking on these people's trauma, because how many times do these people have to relive this? I feel like these people should not have to keep reliving this. And nobody ever mentions the victims. They always mention Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer did this. Like, why was Jeffrey Dahmer being interviewed while he was in prison? Like I said, I understand why people want to know, why did you do this? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're crazy. So I understand people being fascinated or interested, like, what would drive a person to do this? I get that. Like I said, I'm majoring in psychology. I'm very interested in the mind and brain, like what causes you to tick, what causes you to act the way you do. Like I said, I get it. I understand people just being curious as to like what makes a person go crazy like this. But how many times have we interviewed the victims' families and what they gone through and how they feel? You know, it's like y'all don't really care about the victims. Y'all just want to make a quick buck and call it a day. But I did like at the end of this series how they did show all of the victims with their pictures and names. I did like that. I felt like that was a great touch. And this series, what I personally think does differently than this shows the events through somebody else's lenses, not Dahmer's. It shows through the lens of his neighbor Glenda, who called the cops multiple times and they did nothing. Absolutely nothing. It shows the events through Tony's eyes when he met Dahmer and they started to develop some type of relationship. It showed it through his eyes. So I do like how it was shown through others. I like what they were experiencing and how it felt to them, not through Dahmer, and we only saw like how he was feeling and what you get it. So I do think they did a good job with that part of it. Now, like I said, I'm keep reiterating, I'm very interested in this type of stuff, but I do agree with people when they say we have too many TV shows, movies, documentaries about this man. How many do we need about him? We all know he is a heinous person. What he did is unforgivable in my books. Those people are never getting those family members back. So what he did is unforgivable. So how many times do these people have to relive this trauma and go through this again? And watching the series, like I said, the scene or the case that really hit me hard was that 14-year-old Laotian boy, Conrad. When I tell you that upset me the most, seeing how negligent the police were when it came to that young boy. That was a literal child. They didn't think to check IDs, do a quick background check. If they would have done a quick background check, take less than 5 minutes on Dahmer, when those women told him, hey, this young man is stumbling around, if they would have done a quick background check, they would have found that that man was arrested for child molestation. But did they think to do that? No. And I don't care what anybody says, race plays a huge part of it. There is a reason Dahmer was in a low-income neighborhood. There was a reason he went mostly after minority men. And I don't care what anybody says, you can try to flip it, twist it, turn it any type of way you want. There was a reason for that. He was very calculated. He knew if he went after mainly Black, Asian, and Latino men, nobody would really care or look for them or put in much effort to look for them. He knew that. So it was definitely racially motivated. I'm just sick of seeing these people have to relive this trauma over and over and over again. Now, like I said, it was very informative. I learned things that I did not know before, but please let this be the last thing we see of Jeffrey Dahmer. I am begging you, let this be the last thing. All right, you guys, I know this video was pretty heavy. I didn't want to get too into detail and talk too much of it because, like I said, it's very heavy stuff. I'm not really in the business of talking about that right now, at least. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.